Dear students, in this video we are going to discuss some of the most important current affairs of recent days. So let's begin. So first and foremost news is from United Nations. So recently 76th session of United Nations General Assembly was conducted. So this General Assembly is convened every year. It is convened every year. So this was the 76th time that it was convened. So you have to remember a few points. So where is this General Assembly located? So you can say that this General Assembly is basically the Secretariat of United Nations. For example, in India, if we have a parliament, so the parliament has a common meeting house which is known as Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So similarly, you can say that this is the parliament of United Nations. It is convened every year so that all the member countries can join at a place and they can discuss global issues. So you have to remember a few points. Where is this General Assembly held? So this is held at New York every year. The second thing that you have to remember is that before the General Assembly starts, a president is selected for every session. So the tenure of the president is for 1 year. So this year, Abdullah Shahid, who is a politician from Maldives, was elected as the president of the United Nations General Assembly for the 76th session. So this General Assembly is held for 1 or 2 weeks. So this time it was held for 1 week. Next news is from Japan. So recently Japan has seen the change of prime minister. So Japan has got a new prime minister and his name is Fumio Kishida. He has become the new prime minister of Japan. Why? Because the current prime minister of Japan has resigned. Yoshide Suga, who was elected as the prime minister of Japan last year, due to some domestic politics, he had to step down, he had to resign, and now the new prime minister is Fumio Kishida. Next news is from our neighboring country Bangladesh. So Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Miss Sheikh Hasina, has been conferred with prestigious SDG Progress Award. So SDG Progress Award is given by United Nations. Now what is this SDG Progress Award? So SDG stands for Sustainable Development Goals. So what are Sustainable Development Goals? So Sustainable Development Goal was declared by United Nations in 2015. So this is basically 17 targets or 17 goals which every country of the globe is expected to achieve. So these 17 targets include elimination of poverty, elimination of hunger, taking control of environment. So these type of global issues. So these are known as Sustainable Development Goal. This was announced by United Nations in 2015 and these goals are to be achieved by 2030. So what United Nations actually does is that it monitors that which country is putting in how much effort to attain these goals. So Bangladesh has been performing very well in an attempt to achieve these goals. Therefore, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Ms. Sheikh Hasina, has been awarded as SDG Progress Award. Next news, oldest human footprints have been found in New Mexico. So New Mexico is in United States. So whenever these kind of anthropologic discoveries are made, these news becomes very important from competitive point of view. So oldest human footprints have been discovered at New Mexico in United States. So these fossils are some 23,000 years old. So they have been discovered at White Sands National Park of New Mexico. Next news, India has been elected as external auditor to International Atomic Energy Agency. So from here you have to remember a few points. So the tenure of external auditor is for 6 years. For 6 years. So from 2022 to 2027, this responsibility will be dealt with by India. So India has been elected as external auditor. So where is the headquarter of International Atomic Energy Agency situated? So it is situated in Vienna, Vienna in Austria. Now you have to remember a few things. So India's CAG, CAG means Comptroller and Auditor General. Who is he? He is GC Murmu. So GC Murmu, since he is the CAG, Controller and Auditor General of India, so by default he would be performing this responsibility. CAG of India has been chosen for this job. So who is CAG of India? GC Murmu. Next news, recently a lunar crater means you can say a depression on moon. So a depression or a crater found on moon has been named after Arctic explorer Matthew Hansen. So please remember Matthew Hansen. He is not any astronaut or you can say scientist. He was an Arctic explorer. So to honor him, a crater on moon has been named after him. But what is so relevant and important about Matthew Hansen? So Matthew Hansen was a black man. He was a black man who in 1919 set foot on the Arctic zone. Arctic. He was an Arctic explorer. Arctic, you know, it's a very cold, frigid region. So there are two regions, polar regions, Arctic and Antarctic. So South Pole of Moon, because Arctic region is basically the South Pole of our Earth. So South Pole of Moon has been named after Matthew Hansen. Next news, recently the one and only the first ever statue of Bitcoin founder was unveiled in Hungary. So who is the founder of Bitcoin is a matter of mystery and suspense. The world knows him by his name, Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody has ever seen this person. Nobody even knows for sure that whether this name is true or not. So in 2008, basically a gentleman, anonymous person who didn't come forward, he submitted a white paper, and in that paper his name was mentioned as Satoshi Nakamoto. Based on the mechanism of that paper, Bitcoin came into existence. Some people believe that he is from Japan, but there is no guarantee. So why is this person in news, Satoshi Nakamoto? Because his first ever statue have been unveiled in the capital of Hungary, that is Budapest. Next news, China has declared all sorts of cryptocurrency as illegal. So the Central Bank of China has made this announcement that all the cryptocurrencies are illegal within the territory of China. So in the comment section, please answer that which country has made cryptocurrency a legal tender. First country to accept cryptocurrency as legal tender, or you can say made the currency of the country. So you have to name the country in the comment section. If you are not aware of this question, then you can visit our previous current affairs videos, because we have already discussed that. So that's why I would like to request to you that if you have not subscribed to our channel, kindly do so, because every week we upload current affair digest, so that you never miss out on any important current affair. Recently, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, in short UNCTAD, has released a report for the year 2020. So this report details foreign direct investment received by various countries. So as per this report, India was the 5th largest recipient of foreign direct investment in the year 2020. Foreign direct investment. So what was the total amount of foreign direct investment received by India? It was 64 billion US dollars. Next news, India has recently signed a pact with Bhutan. So this pact is to help Bhutan in developing small satellites. So if you are following our current affair videos, so 2-3 weeks ago we have already told you that ISRO is giving training to Bhutanese students. Students of Bhutan are staying at ISRO for 1 or 2 years, and they are taking training. The idea is that India wants Bhutan to also develop a space agency. Next news, our Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi has recently launched a national single window system. Now, what is this national single window system? So, this single window system is basically a portal which is meant to improve ease of doing business. Now, what is this about? Suppose somebody wants to open a new factory or a new business, so he have to apply for different clearances, different approvals. So he may have to apply to Environment Ministry, he may have to apply to Commerce Ministry for no clearance, for clearance certificate and all. So now a person was required, or a business entity was required to apply at so many places. So it took a lot of time. So now government wants to make this more comfortable, more business friendly. So now government has launched a single window portal. That means at a single place you can get all the approval and clearances that you need. A single stop. Next news. So recently Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi launched National Digital Health Mission. Now this you can say campaign was launched last year 2020 on 15th of August. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi had made the announcement of this you can say project last year itself, but then it was a pilot project run on test basis. But now recently Prime Minister Narendra Modi has launched it nationwide throughout the country. Now what is this National Digital Health Mission about? So as per this mission, each citizen, every citizen of our country will be provided with a unique digital health ID. They will have a unique digital health ID. So this health ID will be your online identity. So now your health record will be you can say stored online. Suppose that a person is admitted to a hospital, so that person will have a health ID. So the doctor will take his health ID, go and visit the portal, National Digital Health Mission portal. He will enter that ID. He will get to know the medical history of that person. So that is the purpose behind National Digital Health Mission, and that is the purpose behind providing unique digital health ID to every citizen. Next news, our country India has launched first pan India helpline for senior citizen. So see, who are senior citizens? Persons who have attained the age of 60 plus. So this is basically a elder helpline. It is a toll free number and the dial code is 14567. So this is pan India elderly helpline. For example, elderly people, they are often subjected to domestic abuse, or if they are alone and they need some kind of emotional, legal, medical support, they can call on this helpline. You have to remember the number 14567, and then they will be provided with government help. Next news, Supreme Court has recently introduced faster system. Now what is faster system? So full form of faster: F for fast, A for end, S for secured, T for transmission, E for electric, R for record. So what is this system about? So see, Supreme Court passes on judgment, many different types of judgment: bail order, jail order, fine, charge sheet, different type of legal documents are there. So the general or you can say the tradition was that these legal orders or these legal judgment are provided in hard copy, paper copy, to the you can say concerned authorities and concerned person. So providing this hard copy of judgment, it took time. Suppose judge delivered a judgment now, so it take like 5 to 10 days for the judgment to be delivered in hard copy. So it was like a delay in justice system. So what Supreme Court has done is that now it has launched the electronic record system. So as per this electronic record system, all the orders like bail order, stay order, all this will be communicated electronically instantly. because it is easy to communicate it electronically. Later on you can provide a hard copy. So the name of the system is FASTER. Next news. So recently Union Minister for Science and Technology, his name is Mr. Jitendra Singh. So Union Minister of Science and Technology Mr. Jitendra Singh recently launched Amrit Grand Challenge Program. Now Amrit, you must be aware that India is celebrating 75th year of independence, and this is known as Amrit Mahotsav. That's why the name of this challenge is also given as Amrit Grand Challenge Program. But challenge for what? What is this challenge about? So basically government is trying to appeal to entrepreneurs and other startups that young people of India, entrepreneurs and startups of India should come forward with innovative ideas and solution to address the problem of Indian healthcare sector. So basically it is a call for startups, call for entrepreneurs. So what government will do through this challenge? Government will identify 75 best startups who are working in the field of Indian healthcare solution, and government will provide them with fund, with loan, with seed money and everything. So recently, Union Minister Mr. Kiren Rijiju inaugurated India's first sports arbitration center at Gandhinagar. So where is Gandhinagar? Gandhinagar is the capital city of Gujarat. So some students are confused, and often I have seen that student, when I ask what is the capital of Gujarat, almost 60% of the students say that capital of Gujarat is Ahmedabad. But no, capital of Gujarat is Gandhinagar. It is near to Ahmedabad, but it is not Ahmedabad. So, Sports Arbitration Center of India. First Sports Arbitration Center of India was opened in Gandhinagar. Now, what is this center about? So, if there is any legal dispute between two sports body or between a sports person and a sports body, so what is the current mechanism? That they have to go to regular courts of justice like High Court and Supreme Court, regular courts. But now special justice courts, which would be dealing only with cases, justice related to sports, have. So that is the concept of Sports Arbitration Center of India. So this has been opened at Gandhinagar in Gujarat. Next news. World's highest electric vehicle charging station has been opened in Himachal Pradesh. So the location in Himachal Pradesh is Kaza in Spiti Valley, Himachal Pradesh. So who has opened this? So a Pune based EV charging manufacturing. What is EV? EV means E for electric, V for vehicle. So a Pune based electric vehicle manufacturer has set up this charging station at Kaza in Spiti Valley, Himachal Pradesh, and it is the world's highest electronic vehicle charging station. So next news is from Leh. So where is Leh situated? So Leh is situated in the Union Territory of Ladakh. So recently, first ever Himalayan Film Festival was conducted at Leh. So it is the first ever Himalayan Film Festival. From next year onward, it will be continued every year. But since this was the first time, so this becomes important from current affair point of view. So this Himalayan Film Festival was inaugurated by Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Mr. Anurag Thakur. So this is also part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebration. You know that India is celebrating 75th year of its independence. So to gel with that, this has been announced. So you have to remember the location, Leh. Name of the festival, Himalayan Film Festival. Inaugurated by whom? Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Mr. Anurag Thakur. Next news. Indian Army recently celebrated Bijoy Sanskritik Mahotsav in Kolkata. Now what is this Bijoy Sanskritik Mahotsav about? So you are aware that in 1971 India and Pakistan fought a war, as an outcome of which East Pakistan seceded from Pakistan and became an independent nation known as Bangladesh. So 1971 war was you can say hallmark of bravery of Indian Army, and the credit of creation of Bangladesh is given largely to Indian Army. So this is 50 years to mark 50 years, completion of 50 years of this war. It was fought in 1971, today it is 2021. So 50 years have gone by. So to celebrate, to commemorate that, Indian Army celebrated Bijoy Sanskritik Mahotsav in Kolkata. Next news, recently Santi Swarup Bhatnagar Award has been announced. So there are 11 scientists who have been given this award. So basically you have to remember a few things about this. So these awards are given in which field? So these awards are given in the field of science and technology. This year how many people won it? So this year 11 people have been given this award. So this award is given to young scientists who are below 45 years of age. So this award is given by Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR. Next news, India's first cattle genomic chip has been launched. The name of this chip is INDIGO. Gau in Hindi means cow. So what is this genomic chip about? So see, there are various pure indigenous native cattle breeds. So to stop inbreeding, so these are high quality cattle breeds. So if they inbreed with inferior quality, the entire lineage gets destroyed. So to keep a track and to prevent inbreeding, so this chip will be you can say issued for each cattle. So in that chip, DNA information, that is which breed it belongs to, its DNA or genome sequencing will be mentioned in that chip, so that a high quality breed should not be breeding with low quality, and the pure indigenous cattle breed quality can be maintained. So INDIGO chip, it is basically a database. All these details about each cattle will be maintained online. Next news, recently cyclone Gulab landed on the shores of India. So you have to remember a few points about this. So every cyclone is named by one country. So the country which first detects the cyclone or the presence or the formation of the cyclone has the right to give a name to that cyclone. So this name Gulab was actually given by Pakistan, because the Pakistan Weather Department was the first to detect the presence or the formation of this cyclone. So the name of the cyclone is Gulab. This name was given by Pakistan. So in India, this cyclone reached the shores of Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. So these two states were the worst affected states by cyclone Gulab. Next news is from Odisha. So the capital city of Odisha, that is Bhubaneswar is going to host Men's Hockey Junior World Cup. So this is a very big you can say event, Men's Junior World Cup. And you must also be know that state of Odisha is taking keen interest in promoting hockey. So state of Odisha is sponsoring the Indian hockey team for next 10 years. So we have covered all this in our previous current affair videos. So if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, so please do it, so that you can get regular videos, notification of videos that we keep on uploading regularly. So now Bhubaneswar will be the host city for Men's Hockey Junior World Cup. Who is the Chief Minister of Odisha? Mr. Naveen Patnaik. So this World Cup will be held from 24th November to 5th December of this year itself. Next news, recently 3 important you can say items have been, agricultural produces have been given GI tag. Now what is the purpose of GI tag? So a product, if a product of a particular location is very famous, let's say for example Banarasi sari. So saris made in Banaras are said to be of superior quality than saris made from any other state. So this is the concept of attaching a product with a location. So now government, what the government does is that government gives GI tags so that let's suppose a private company, if he wants to make Banarsi sari, then government will see to it that you cannot use the name of Banarsi sari unless you achieve a certain quality. So that is the concept behind GI tag. So now GI tag has been given to three important agricultural products. So the first product is from Nagaland. So Nagaland's Naga cucumber, also known as sweet cucumber. So sweet cucumber from Nagaland has been given GI tag. The next agricultural produce is Assam's rice wine, which is known as Judima. So question may be asked, what is Judima? So Judima is a rice wine. Which state is Judima, you can say, mostly produced? So it is produced in Assam. So this has been given GI tag. So that let's suppose a factory in Madhya Pradesh. Now if that factory in Madhya Pradesh wants to produce Judima, it cannot do so because GI tag. Now government will take care that if you want to produce Judima, you have to follow a certain procedure, you have to follow a certain standard. You cannot spoil the name of that product. That is the concept behind GI tag. The third product, Sojat Mehendi from Rajasthan. So three products: sweet cucumber from Nagaland, rice wine known as Judima from Assam, and the third product is Sojat Mehendi from Rajasthan. All these three products have been given GI tag. Next news, recently Chief Minister of Haryana, Mr. Manohar Lal Khattar, launched Samarpan Portal. Now what is Samarpan Portal? So Samarpan Portal is a call for ordinary citizens to offer voluntary services to the society. Suppose you have a specific skill, you are good at teaching, or you are good at some you can say embroidery, or you are good at sports and agriculture. So you can register on this portal. By registering on this portal, you have offered yourself as a volunteer. So now government will take your services to train other people. So if you are good at teaching, so government will take your services as a teacher and will ask you to go and teach in maybe in some village or some blocks. So that is the purpose of this portal. Next news, Indian Coast Guard have started Operation Olivia. So this operation is done every year. It's not that it is being done for first time. Now what is this Operation Olivia? So first you have to remember who conducts this: Indian Coast Guards. Now what is this Operation Olivia? So the answer lies in the name of the operation itself, Olivia. So there is a variety, or you can say a type of turtle known as olive ridley turtles. So these turtles are endangered species. They are almost about to become extinct. So you can say this is their breeding season. October, November, December is their breeding season. So to breed, these turtles gather along the coast of Odisha. So people may not harm them because they are endangered species. People may not kill them and eat their eggs. So that is what is the purpose behind this Operation Olivia. So it is run by Indian Coast Guard to safeguard, to let them breed safely, and to you can say protect them from human poaching, human hunting. Next news, very important news. Mr. Vivek Ram Chaudhary has been appointed as the next Chief of Indian Air Force. Very important. So the current Air Chief Marshal, Mr. R.K.S. Bhadauria, is retiring. He has attained his retirement age. So therefore a new Chief of Air Force had to be appointed, and the next Chief of Air Force is Mr. Vivek Ram Chaudhary. So currently he is the Air Marshal and now he will become the Chief of Indian Air Force. Next news, Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri, who is the Union Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs, has recently launched the 7th edition of Swachh Sarvekshan 2022. So these kind of current affairs have become very you can say common these days, that who inaugurated what. Did Prime Minister inaugurate or did the Union Minister inaugurate? So you have to remember all these facts as well. So Union Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs, Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri, launched the 7th edition of Swachh Sarvekshan. Now what is this Swachh Sarvekshan? So this is annual cleanliness survey which is done in urban areas, and based on this survey government keeps a track that how is Swachh Bharat Abhiyan performing, which cities are performing better, which cities are lagging behind. Next news, Rohit Sharma has become the first batsman to score 1000 runs against one single opponent, one single franchisee in all the IPLs that have been conducted so far. So Rohit Sharma has been playing IPL since 2007 itself. So till now he is the first and only cricketer to score 1000 run against one single team. So in all the IPL matches that he has ever played against KKR, he managed to score 1000 runs. So he is the one and only cricketer to do so. Next news, Lok Sabha Speaker recently launched Nidhi 2.0 scheme. Now, who is the Lok Sabha Speaker? Mr. Om Birla. Now, what is this Nidhi 2.0 scheme? So, answer lies in the name itself. Nidhi, full form of Nidhi is national. N for national, I for integrated, D for database, H for hospitality, I for industry. So, hospitality industry. So, Nidhi scheme is basically a to facilitate a portal which aims at digitalization of tourism sector. So what the government is doing, trying to do through Nidhi scheme is that it wants all the different units working in tourism sector. So different units such as hotels, resorts, travel agency, travel agents. So government want that all these entities should register, should come together on a single portal, so that a consolidated tourism industry should be digitalized. Next news, Jyoti Surekha Venam has won silver medal at World Archery Championship. Very important achievement. Jyoti Surekha Venam. So what has she done? What is her achievement? She won silver medal at World Archery Championship. So next news, recently the traditional festival of dance and music of Manipur known as Nata Sankirtana was celebrated. So when these kind of regional festivals, so these are very important fodder for competitive exams. So you have to remember the name of the state and the name of the festival, Nata Sankirtana. So this is a festival of dance and music. So you can see these people in costume. So they are known as Nata, and what they are doing, they are celebrating this festival by performing traditional dance and playing traditional music. So that was all for this week. So we keep on uploading a new current affair video every week, consolidated video. So I would like to appeal you once more that please dear students, if you have not subscribed, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please do so, and please hit the bell icon so that you never miss on a notification.